SportsBit is powered by BetOnline, driving the opening odds market since 2001. Visit sportsbookreview.com to learn more about BetOnline and its A+ rated platform in the link below.
Good morning, live from Las Vegas. It's Teddy Covers on a Tuesday, December 19th, and this is SportsBit. Betting insight today from SBRpicks.com. Loaded show today, bowl previews. We've got 3 of them, plus deep dive with Dave Mason, like we do every Tuesday. But first, let's get it started with bad beats, bad bets, bad for the books. And what happened last night? Favorites in the NFL finished the week at 14-0 straight up. And oh my God, it's headlines for the mainstream media. And that doesn't happen very often. The Falcons get the win last night. They did not get the cover. Good week for the chalk. No question. Bad week for underdogs in the money line, as bad as it gets. Supposedly, it's only happened 3 times in the history of the NFL, where, of course, there were 2 games priced at Pick'em, and depending on how you mark, if you chose to price those, grade those at -1 or +1, you ended up with a different result for the favorites, which is why I always take this stuff with a little bit of a grain of salt. But the bottom line is, no underdogs won in the NFL this weekend, including last night with Tampa Bay. And we're going to call this a bad bet and a tough beat. Bad bets on the Falcons. Falcons were bet up from -6 to -7 in that ballgame. They were not the right side. And Atlanta did what they've done so many times. Hot start, boom, 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 couple of quick touchdowns, and the rest of the game, that offense struggling to find the red zone, letting teams hang around. And last night, they almost let a team hang around long enough to beat them. Falcons were a bad bet. They took a ton of money. They were wrong. So the books didn't fare too poorly, even though they're complaining about all the favorites coming in over the weekend. Bad beat / tough beat, the total in that ballgame. And this is from someone that had a big bet on Pittsburgh, New England over on Sunday. And we saw more shenanigans, late game shenanigans last night. That was just brutal. Over got bet 47.5 to 49.5. Now look, the over wasn't a right side, but wasn't a wrong side either. Would have gotten there by the skin of their chin if that field goal goes in. But 54-yarders in the NFL, they're not automatic, especially given the Bucs' recent kicking history. Remember when Paula used to go off on Robert Aguayo on this show, who no longer kicks in Tampa Bay after being a second-round draft choice. So tough beat if you had the over, no question in that one. Bad bet if you had the Falcons. One bad beat in the NBA last night in the association. You know how this goes. Warriors-Lakers totals at 218. It's 204 at the end of regulation. 16 of 53 shooting from Durant and Thompson. Half Golden State sitting out. Doesn't matter. Game goes to OT. Lands 230. So much for 218. You're going to rip those tickets in half. Gone. Another bad beat last night. I was on the right side of this one. Thank the Lord. Man, you don't want to complain too much about the beats getting you down when you end up with a lucky one like this. I'll tell you what. Creighton last night bet from -10 to -13 against Texas Arlington. Creighton wins the game 90-81. That is a misleading final score. They were up 25 early, the Blue Jays. I turned the game off. I'll tell you what. I had UTA. I watched it back-to-back threes. Creighton's up 25. I'm like, forget this. Then all of a sudden, I see a score. I turn it back on. UTA's hanging tough. Gutty showing from the Mavericks. They fall behind early, get blown out early, rally back to get the cover at Creighton. -10 to -13 for the Blue Jays. All that money, the books get to keep it. Bad bets, huh? We saw, again, the T-Wolves taking money at home. Minnesota's not covering spreads at home. They were bet up from -2 to -4 against Blazers. They didn't sniff a cover there. Bad for books. A couple of injury moves in the NBA last night. Big injury moves. Ended up being pretty nasty for the sports book. Charlotte, -5.5 up to -8.5. Mostly no Porzingis for the Knicks. The Knicks played like a team with no Porzingis. Charlotte wins that game 109 to 81. Blowout city. Atlanta bet from +3 to -1.5. Huge move on the Hawks Heat last name. And of course, the latest injury for Miami was no Goran Dragic last night, but that was on top of the fact Winslow was going to come back. He didn't come back last night. No Hassan Whiteside, no James Johnson. So it's a Heat team that was very shorthanded. Game was tied late, but Atlanta scored 6 in a row with the game on the line. Hawks take the money. Hawks get the money. That was a bad result for the house. And another one when it comes to the NBA, the Rockets over the total, 213.5, bet up to 216. fell to 19. Utah led by 12. I'm sorry, Utah was plus 12. They led by 5 going into the fourth quarter. And boy, that fourth quarter was ugly. Got blitzed 45-15, a 20-3 run out at the end. Kind of a tough beat if you had the Jazz in that one as well. Rockets, Eric Gordon, 33 off the bench. Clint Capella, 24 points, 20 boards. This is the second time in the matter of a month I've seen the Jazz play the Rockets. Utah does not match up well against Houston. Both times Houston was able to run them out of the gym. And here's one that we talked about on Sportsbet when the winning streak was 3. Now the winning streak is 6. I hope you've been riding this Bulls on the money line. Take a look at the graphic right here. Last night, another underdog win for the Chicago Bulls on the money line. Straight up fashion. They've beaten the 76ers, the Bucks, the Jazz, the Celtics, the Knicks, the Hornets during this span. That's not a bad group of opponents. You know, we're not talking about whatever. They beat Boston. They're beating good teams. They're scrapping hard. They're playing with a purpose. 7 players in double figures last night. 3 of them scored at least 20. And the bottom line is, right now, the Chicago Bulls are the biggest moneymakers in the NBA. I had them as the worst team in my power ratings prior to this streak. They're not the worst team right now. Hopefully, you made a little bit of money with them. Hopefully, you can make a little bit more. When we come back, big game breakdown. You know how it goes. Bowl season. Every single bowl preview right here on Sportsbet. Starting today, what are we doing? Pinstripe Bowl, Boston College and Iowa, coming up next.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to our channel. Now we've put a lot of work into producing all these free videos, so please help us out and keep all our content free for you forever by simply liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. Now, not to mention, a visit to our industry-leading website will warm the hearts of all our SBR employees, especially myself. Now, the links are over there to the left, so do check those out. Thanks for watching.